Friday morning, afternoon, evening, Saturday afternoon, whatever it is to you, everyone. Hello, my name is Veritas. This intro is a fucking nightmare. And as you saw on that little mural and those little lavender flowers there, Zur is here in the tower this weekend, and he's offering some garbage. I happened to glance at the stat rolls already just to see if it was even worth hyping up what he might have. It's not. It's not. Honestly, you don't even have to watch the rest of the video, but I appreciate it if you do, because the more you watch, the more fucking watch time I get, and the better my videos do. So thanks for fucking leaving it open in the tab, muted probably. But yeah, so he's got a legacy engram for a helmet. This will turn into a year 1 exotic helmet. 29 strange coins there. Maximum light is 170, so I don't recommend this unless you absolutely need something from year 1. Moving over to the Titan exotic, we have the Helmet Saint 14. The Hunter exotic is the Radiant Dance Machines, or the RDM if you're that kind of person. The Skull of Dire Ahamkar is the Warlock exotic, and the weapon this week is the Invective Solar Shotgun. Let's go over each of these and explain what they do and why you might not want to buy them, or why you might want to buy them. Starless Night. Your Ward of Dawn blinds enemies who enter it. Now, the Helmet Saint 14 is a very useful Titan Defender helmet because it does what it says. It blinds things that go in your bubble. So you can use this offensively by putting your bubble up where enemies will spawn, like difficult enemies will spawn, or defensively where you can have it, you know, if enemies are coming in and they walk in your bubble, they're immediately blinded. It doesn't stop attacks, though, so if something's swinging into your bubble, it's still going to hit you, and then it will be blinded after that. It has increased intellect and strength, ashes to assets, and heavy lifting, as well as invigoration. You can read what those do on your own time, but it's pretty useful. I like it. I also call it the light vagina helmet, because it looks like a light vagina. Moving over to the Hunter exotic this week is the Radiant Dance Machines. These are fun, neat-looking, but also completely useless to most people in the game. The dance. You move more quickly while aiming your weapon or ADSing. So if you raise your sniper rifle up to aim, or your rocket launcher, machine gun, auto rifle, fusion rifle, hand cannon, scout rifle, pulse rifle, etc., and have that aimed and you're moving around, you'll notice that you move slower. With these on, it negates that. So you move at walking speed while aiming down sights, which is kind of helpful, but also kind of useless. The biggest thing about these is they are the only piece of armor in the game that has all 3 double down abilities, which is why I kind of like them. The no negative move speed while aiming is pretty nice. Increased intellect and discipline there, so int dis roll on these is pretty nice as well. Shotgun ammo and machine gun ammo, that's pretty decent. And then you have arc double down, solar double down, or void double down, so you can switch these between whatever subclass you're using at the time to get grenade kills, to give you agility bonuses, whatever weapons you might be using that week for the burns for heroic strikes or the nightfall, etc. It's a neat little thing that they added in for RDMs that allow you to have whatever thing you want. Moving into the Skull of Dire Ahamkar, this is one of the worst pieces of exotic armor in the game. This has Delusions of Grandeur. Take reduced damage while using Nova Bomb and improve energy durability. So this thing actually looks pretty dope with no shader on. I've never seen this with no shader on it. Actually, I think this is a new design. If this is an old design, it's dope as hell. But this is a helmet for the Warlock, and like I said, you get reduced damage while using Nova Bomb. This is in the second that you're casting Nova Bomb, you have increased armor, basically. It doesn't really do anything, and it's not really noticeable when you're doing it in the Crucible, say, so there's really no point in using it at all. And the improved energy drain ability can be gotten on much better pieces of armor, like the whatever gauntlets I'm using right now, the fucking... What are the gauntlets I'm using right? The snake gauntlets. What are these called? The Ophidian Aspect. That's what it is. Jesus. I don't play Destiny very much anymore because there's no content, so I don't remember what anything is. So that helmet's pretty meh. It's not a great helmet overall, but discipline, strength, things like that. Moving into the weapon is the Invective. This is a full auto solar shotgun. Full auto here. Moving over, we have final round, so the final bullet or shell does more damage. And Invective, this weapon regenerates ammo over time. This is very slow, kind of like the Icebreaker, but it does allow you to have technically infinite ammo. It also has 2 pretty decent looking ornaments, which is Storm's Reproach and Iconoclast. Both of these are pretty neat. I like Storm's Reproach the most, I think, because this one makes it look like it has, it makes it look like it's a fucking, what do you call it, an Ias Luna, almost. It's a little silly looking, but it's pretty cool ornaments if you want to decorate your Invective. It's a decent Crucible shotgun. It's not perfect, but it's decent. The full auto is pretty nice. So I'd recommend picking it up if you don't have one already, or if you've ever wanted to try it. It's also really good for Solar Burn Week, but like I said, you'd probably want to use Yallarhorn over that as a Solar Exotic. Moving into the stats, though, Henry still remains at large or missing or whatever. I'm sure he won't appear anytime soon, so I'll go ahead and read over the stat rolls for you in his stead, which is a fun way of saying that. So let's go over to the old stat Windorowski here, and let's go ahead and read these out for you there now, shall we? So Zur has the helmet with 90% stat roll there. The Radiant Dance Machines is 88% stat roll there. And the helmet for the Warlock is an 89%. So they're all pretty terrible. They're all middle range. I think the lowest you can get is like 75, 76. The highest you can get is like 101 or 100. So they're pretty middle ground, but they're pretty terrible. I wouldn't recommend picking any of these up. They're not great. If you're going to pick anything up, I would say pick up this Defender helmet of all of them. If you are a Defender Titan, that's what I would recommend picking up, and also the Invective if you don't have it. Moving down to the Kyrios, he has the Plasma Drive and the Void Drive. These are, fucking Sparrow upgrades, so go buy a blue quality Sparrow from the Vanguard or Crucible Quartermasters. Put these things into them. They'll turn into Legendary Sparrows with a blue or purple exhaust trail, respectively. Heavy Ammo Synthesis, 3 for 1 or 10 for 3. I don't know why you'd ever buy 3 for 1, because the 10 for 3 is a better conversion rate, obviously. These can be used to trade into factions for reputation. Those faction packages max out at 390, so do with that what you will. It takes 100 ammo synth to get a faction rank up, or like 80 something or 90 something if you have the exotic class item. Moving over to 3 of coins. This is a stackable effect, which is actually really not. So 3 of coins, this is how they work. I'll explain it kind of in the way you need to know to use them effectively. Exotic particles, this is what you get when you burn a 3 of coins in your inventory. So say I have 100, I use one. I'm not going to use one because I already have one active. I now have, say, a 2% buff to... I now have a 2% chance of the next Ultra, or named enemy, or Crucible match I complete, the Ultra I kill or Crucible match I complete to drop an exotic. If it doesn't drop, I'll go back into my inventory. The exotic particles will be taken away because they've been used up, and the next one I use will have a 4% chance, say. If I do those things again and I still don't get one, the exotic particles will be used up. I'll use another one. I now have a 6% chance of getting it. So it works kind of like that. You can get obscenely lucky and get one on your first use, or you can get really unlucky and get one on like your 20th use. But that's pretty much how they work. People will tell you they work differently everywhere around the internet. I've been playing this game for a very long time, and that is the best way to explain how they work. You also have to space out. If you go to like a story mission and you find an Ultra and you pop a 3 of coins, you kill it, you kill yourself, and then you spawn again, you spawn him again, it's like 30 seconds between uses, they become less effective. So pretty much play strikes or just play Crucible, and the amount of time it takes for you to complete a match or to kill the boss of a strike, just use it at the beginning of the strike, play the strike, kill the boss. When the boss dies, use another one. Go through the next strike. When the boss dies, use another one. Like that. When the Crucible matches, just play the game. When the game's over, use one when you're loading into the next one. Play the game, etc. That's like the best way to do it in terms of getting the most bang for your mysterious buck thing like that. Moving into glass needles, as I run out of fucking air. Glass needles are used to re-roll exotic armors, so if you really want one of these pieces, I would honestly suggest using it on the Helm of Saint 14 maybe, if you want to risk it for the biscuit and making this a little bit stronger. What that'll allow you to do is twist the fate on this armor. It will change the intellect strength, it'll change which increases here, it'll change what these perks are, and it'll change what this perk is, as well as re-rolling the amount of stats you get up here, and it could even switch around what they are. The Helm of Saint 14 is technically a super-based exotic armor. It augments your super, so it will always have intellect, I believe. Armors work like that. Whatever they're based on, they will always have that thing. Like the Void Fang Vestments for the Warlock, it's a chest piece that augments your grenade ability, so we'll always have discipline, things like that. So it'll re-roll the percentages here, like how much of this you get. A maximum helmet roll is 65-65 once it's all upgraded, or I believe it's 46-65. So it would say intellect 46 out of 65, and then it would say strength 46 out of 65. If it was a perfect roll with the most you could get out of it, that's what it would say. So you can go ahead and re-roll it if you want. As you can see, it's not super terrible, but it's also not super great. Moving down to material exchange, I never recommend motes of light exchange. This is the worst conversion rate in the game. Never use it unless you absolutely have to. And exotic shards. Exotic shards, you can buy 1 for 7 coins, and if you want more of these, instead of buying them as strange coins, I don't know why I call it exotic coins, regardless. Strange coins, if you want to have more of these, I'll show you how to duplicate those, quote-unquote duplicate those in a moment here. But that's where Zur is, that's what he's got. I recommend probably buying the Titan helmet if you don't have it already. If you are a Defender Titan and you want to use that, it's pretty fun, good for raids, good for strikes, things like that. So, you know, use it if you want it. I don't recommend the Radiant Dance Machines. They're not a great exotic, and they're also a pretty terrible roll from him. The Skull of Dire Ahamkara is really useless and has no application in the game whatsoever, unless you really like how it looks. I actually like how it looks with no shader on. I don't think I've ever seen it with no shader, or they might have changed up how the armor looks when they brought it back for year 2. I don't actually know. I've never really looked at it. I can look at it right now, actually. Let's take a giggly gander at it and see what it looks like back in year 1 with no shader on. I'm gonna be a little bit salty if it looked awesome back in year 1 with no shader on. Let's take a giggly gander at this thing here. It did look fucking awesome. I'm fucking stupid. Doesn't matter. It's a terrible exotic. No one ever wants to use it anyway. So, if you want to duplicate exotic shards, the best way to do this is to go into your 3D printer for your exotic weapons, buy a year 2 heavy weapon. I like to use Truth for reasons you don't need to worry about. It's just the best one to use and just the easiest one to buy. So, once you have your Truth rocket launcher, go back into your inventory and equip that bad boy on your hotbar or on your equipment bar. Now it's equipped. Go back over to your inventory. Now this is where you can do multiple different things. You can either use a heavy telemetry, which I use because they're very cheap. You can buy them from the gunsmith for like 250 glimmer. Or, for free, you could have a class item that also increases rocket launcher, increases the upgrade rate for rocket launcher. You see this is hand cannon, this is pulse rifle, hand cannon, pulse rifle. They have other ones like sniper rifle, fusion, shotgun, machine gun, things like that. So you can find one with the rocket launcher ammo, or you can just go buy a couple telemetries to increase the upgrade rate for a specific thing like heavy weapons. Once you've done that, go ahead and go back into your inventory and use some motes of light, 6 to be exact. So 3, 4, 5, 6 motes of light. Go back to your Truth rocket. This thing will now be fully full of experience. You don't have to click any of the baubles there. Just once you've used 6, you're good to go. Take it off and dismantle it. Now your 1 exotic shard and your 2,500 glimmer will turn into 2 exotic shards, a couple motes of light, some weapon parts, and a little bit of glimmer back. So that's how you duplicate exotic shards. Much cheaper than buying a bunch of them from Xur. It saves you strange coins. You can tell if I were to buy, say, 10 exotic shards from Xur, it would cost me 70 strange coins, which is a little bit expensive, or I can just use Glimmer, which is much more easily and readily available in the game instead. So that's how you do that. Super easy way to do it. You get a little bit of a return too, so it's not super bad on the conversion right there. And that's all for me for this week for Xur. I hope you guys enjoyed, found this video helpful. I don't know how long it is. I haven't looked at the timer yet, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more from me and want to hear my random babbling when I'm not trying to be a radio announcer with the Xur video or the weekly reset video, go ahead and watch my other series. I've got things like Skyrim, Outlast, Dead Space, Dark Souls, things like that around on the channel. Go ahead and, you know, subscribe and do all that fun stuff if you want to see more from me. I'll see you guys back on Tuesday in Destiny specifically for weekly reset. That video is super fucking not a pain in the ass to do every week, but regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I very much appreciate it. And as always, until next time.